Yogis are observing 5 Upadanakhanda, 5 aggregates, subject to clinging as impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Sankharakhanda's volitional formation aggregates. Some are kusala, wholesome, and some are akusala, unwholesome. Today we go to the Virati Kusala Sankhara. Viratis, they are called Viratis, abstinences. They are Samavacha, right speech, Samagamanta, right action, Sama Ajiwa, right livelihood. They are 3 abstinences. Yogis are very familiar with these 3 mental factors because they are included in the 8 factors of the Noble Path. In the constituents of the Noble Eightfold Path, you find these 3 factors: Samavacha, right speech; Samagamanta, right action; Sama Ajiwa, right livelihood, as a Sila group. These 3 are collectively called Virati, abstinences. From what is their abstinences? There is abstinence from wrong conduct. There is abstinence from wrong conducts of bodily action, abstinence from wrong conducts of speech or verbal action, abstinence from wrong livelihood. They arise only when you really abstain from killing, stealing, etc. When you are studying this, or when you are paying homage to the Buddha, there is no virati present in your mind. So these abstinences only arise in your mind only when you deliberately refrain from wrongdoings. So there are 3 kinds of virati mentioned in the commentaries: Sampata virati, Samadhana virati, and Samucheda virati. The first one is Sampata, is called natural abstinence. We should say abstinence on occasion. The second is abstinence by undertaking precepts. And the third is abstinence by eradicating all mental defilements. So there are 3 types of virati, 3 types of abstinences. The first one is called Sampata virati. Sampata really means arrive. Some occasion reach you or arrived, and you refrain from doing wrong. Then there is this virati, there is this abstinence. Here the abstention is done not because you have taken precepts. It just happened to be there and you refrain from doing it. Natural abstinence is the abstinence from evil deeds. When the opportunity arises to engage in them, due to the considerations of your social position, age, level of education, your meditation experiences, etc. For example, is refraining from theft out of concern that his reputation would be hurt if he is caught. So if there is an occasion for a man to pick up something easily, he may say to himself, such a person as I would not do such a things. So he refrained from wrongdoings, he refrained from taking anything. At that time, there is abstinence of right action, Sankharakkhanda. When there is occasion for telling a lie, and then you refrain from telling the lie, that is Samavacha or right speech. When you abstain from wrong bodily conduct and wrong verbal conduct, which is your livelihood, then there is Ajiwa. So there is Samavacha, right speech, and Sankharakkhanda, right action on the one hand, and Ajiwa, right livelihood on the other hand. So they all are abstinences from wrongdoing. What is the difference? The difference is that if the wrongdoing is your livelihood, then the abstinence for that is called Ajiwa, right livelihood. If it is not so, it is called Samavacha, right speech, and Sankharakkhanda, right action. So if a fisherman abstain from killing fish, then there is Ajiwa, right livelihood, because killing fish is his livelihood. Let's say another person with a different profession, when he refrains from fishing, there is Sankharakkhanda, not Ajiwa, not right livelihood, because he have different profession. So there is no Ajiwa, no right livelihood when fishing is not his life. Fishing is not his livelihood. So refraining when occasion arises is called Sampata Virati. In the commentary, a story is given that one day the mother is sick and he has two sons. The mother had a disease and the physician told her she needed raw flesh of rabbit to cure the disease. When the physician said this, the elder brother sent the younger brother, Jagana, to the forest to catch a rabbit. So the younger brother, Jagana, went into the forest. Then there was a rabbit. When the rabbit heard the man coming, it frightened and ran away. When it ran away, Unfortunately, it was caught in the creepers. Since the rabbit was caught, it made noise. The younger son, Jagannath, heard it and caught the rabbit. Then he thought to himself, I cannot kill this rabbit. I cannot take the life of this rabbit, even to cure the disease of my mother. After deciding this, he let it go. Then Jagannath returned home. And the elder brother saw him and asked, my brother Jagannath, have you got the rabbit? Jagannath replied, yes, my brother, I caught a rabbit, but I did not want to kill it, even to cure the disease of our mother. So I let it go. Jagannath told his brother, and the elder brother scolded him. Then he went to his mother and made an asseveration of faith. So Jagannath made the asseveration. Ever since I have become knowledgeable, ever since I know what is right and what is wrong, I've never taken the life of any living beings. By these asseverations of this truth, by the saying of this truth, may the disease of my mother be healed. Jagannath made this asseveration. Then it is said, the mother was healed. So this kind of abstention is called sampata virati. Abstention when occasion arises. Jagannath had not taken any precepts before he went to the forest. There was an occasion to kill, and he did not kill it. He abstained from killing the rabbit. This kind of virati or abstinence is called sampata virati, abstinence on occasion. And the second one is abstinence by undertaking precepts, samadhana virati. Samadhana means taking. Now you are taking a precepts and undertake the training precepts not to kill. Panatipada viramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami. Samadhiyami samadhana. That is taking. So samadhana means taking, so it is abstinence because of taking precepts. Abstinence by undertaking precepts is the abstinence from evil deeds because you have undertaken to observe precepts. For example, 5 precepts of abstaining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, false speech, and intoxicant. And there is another story. This time there was a farmer. One day the farmer went out to walk in the field. His cows got lost. So he went into the forest in search of his oxen. Then a big snake, a python, caught him. When the python coiled round him, he had something like a sword in his hand. And then what he do, before going out to his field to work, he had gone to a renowned monk called Bodharakita and took precept from that monk, Bodharakita. So he had already taken the precepts in the early morning. So after taking the precepts, he went to the field to work. At first, when he was caught by the python, he thought he would cut off the python heads. Then he thought again, early morning, I've taken precept from the monk Bodharakita, so I should not break the precepts. I should not break the precepts of killing. Then he thought again, I will cut off the snake's head. Again he thought, it is not proper that I break the precepts since I've taken them from a monk Bodharakita. So 3 times he thought this way. Then he thought, let the snake kill me, I will not kill this python. So he threw away his sharp sword. Very amazing. At that time, the snake uncoiled and went to the forest. So the farmer kept the precepts of not killing, because he had taken the precepts of not killing from the monk Bodharakita. This kind of abstention is called samadhana virati, abstention because you have taken precepts. And the last virati is samojjeda virati. That is abstention which is accomplished when your mental defilements are eradicated. When are the mental defilements, your kilesa are eradicated? Your kilesa are eradicated at the moment of your enlightenment. At the moment of your enlightenment, mental defilements are eradicated. When the kilesa are eradicated, the disposition towards all evil, anusaya, are also eradicated. Since even the disposition towards evil deeds is eradicated, abstention from all evil deeds is accomplished. Although there is no occasion, even though you may not have taken precepts, you have eradicated all mental defilements. You have eradicated even the disposition towards them. And so it is said that at the moment of your enlightenment, all 3 virati, all 3 abstinences arise together. The abstinences are accomplished at the moment, even though there may be no occasion for killing, stealing, etc. You are sitting in meditation, getting enlightenment, so there is no occasion for you to break any of the rules. But since all your mental defilements have been eradicated, along with the disposition to do evil, the abstinences are said to be virtually accomplished. This kind of abstinence is called samujjeda virati. Samujjeda means you cut off altogether. So it is abstinence by cutting off altogether the mental defilements. So you remember there are three types of abstinences: abstinence on occasion, abstinence because of taking precepts, abstinence because of the eradications of mental defilements. Now you are developing naturally. You observe. You try to observe sila, and sometimes you take precepts in the retreat or some special days, and you practicing meditation. Then you can cut off all your mental defilements along with the anusia. So three abstinences. The first is samavaja, right speech. Speech is the deliberate abstinence from doing speech, from wrong speech. It is important. Just saying what is true is not abstinence. You say what is true, that is not abstinence. Abstinence comes only when you have an occasion for saying what is not true. You refrain from saying that. So that is the time of right speech. So right speech will not arise always. It will arise only when there is abstinence. It is abstinence from false speech, abstinence from slander, abstinence from harsh speech, and abstinence from frivolous talk, or abstinence from talking nonsense. So these are the four wrongdoings by speech. There are four wrongs doing by speech: telling lies, slandering, using harsh words, and speaking nonsense. And the next one is right action. Sankharakkhanda. Right action is the deliberate abstinence from wrong bodily action, from killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. When you abstain from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, there is right action. But when you are paying homage to the Buddha, it is not right action as abstinence, or it is not abstinence. It is right action because you are doing what is right. It is not called Sankharakkhanda or abstinence. And the last one is Ajiwa. That is deliberate abstinence from the four wrongdoings by speech and the three wrongdoing by body when you are connected with your livelihood. Abstaining from any one of these seven when they are associated with your job is right livelihood. Dealing in poison, dealing in intoxicant, dealing in weapons, dealing in human beings for slavery, and dealing in animals for slaughter for food, all are wrong traits. So these 5 traits a follower of the Buddha is not to follow, disciple is not to do these 5 traits. Only when there is abstinence from wrongdoing is there one of these abstinences, right speech, right action, or right livelihood. And the next group is called Apaminya. Apaminya. Apaminya means no limit, limitless, the limitless ones. Here, illimitables. So why they are called limitless? They are called limitless because they take limitless beings as object. When you practice Kruna, compassion, and mudita, sympathetic joy, or even when you practice metta, loving kindness, and upekkha, equanimity, you must practice towards all beings. There must be no limit to the beings towards whom you practice one of these 4 qualities. That is why they are called Apaminya. Apaminya means no limit. Also, when you are practicing loving kindness towards just one person, it is still called Apaminya, no limit. Because when you send loving kindness to that person, you do not limit it to the upper part of the body only or lower part of the body only. You send it to the whole beings as object without any restriction. That is why these 4 are also called Apaminya. The first Apaminya is compassion. Kruna is compassion. Kruna or compassion has the characteristics of promoting the removal of suffering in others. That means you have the desire for the removal of suffering from other beings. It is called Kruna. Whether suffering is really removed or not is one thing. When you practice compassion, you radiate Sabbi Satta Dukkha Mojantu. May he or she be free from suffering. May all suffering beings be free from suffering. You radiate Kruna, you develop Kruna compassion to them. Whether or not the person really gets free from suffering is another thing, but you practice that way, you are developing Kruna. When you practice compassion, Sabbi Satta Dukkha Mojantu, it is important that you do not fall prey to its enemy. It succeeds when it causes cruelty to subside, and it fails when it produces sorrow. What is the opposite of Kruna? Compassion. The opposite of compassion is cruelty. In practicing compassion, sometimes you may fall into sorrow. Suppose we feel sad, we are sorry about those our family members are suffering. We are sorry about our family members are suffering, and sometimes we are angry with those who inflict injury on those who are suffering. And then we step over the boundary of compassion and fall into akusala, unwholesome, fall into sorrow and fall into anger. So compassion in Buddhism, compassion in the practice is purely wholesome. The moment you experience sorrow and anger, it is no longer compassion, it's no longer Kruna. You no longer have Kruna, compassion in your mind because there comes sorrow. You are no longer practicing Kruna. It is very important when you are practicing Kruna, compassion, that you just stop there and don't go over to sorrowing with those family members in suffering or getting angry with those who inflict pain on them. So there are two enemies. The direct enemies of compassion is cruelty, and the near enemy is sorrow. And another one is mudita, appreciated joy. That means you are happy when you see other people that are prosperous or other people that are happy. At such times, you have mudita, joy. Mudita or appreciative joy has the characteristics of gladness at the success of other people. When other people are successful, when other people are well off, when other people are happy, you also are happy. The functions of mudita, joy, is being unenvious at other people's success. It is manifested as the elimination of aversion, and the proximate cause is seeing the success of other people. It succeeds when it causes aversion to subside, and it fails when it produces merriment. So the direct enemies of joy, sympathetic joy, is aversion. That means like jealousy. When someone is successful, he don't like it. That is called aversion here. The direct enemy of mudita. And the near enemy of mudita is merriment. That means getting happy and not wholesome happiness regarding with the our close one. So getting married with attachment and so on. So that is the near enemy of mudita. Somebody is very successful and you are very happy, but not just wholesome happiness, but merriment comes in. That is the near enemy of mudita. So Kruna and mudita, compassion and sympathetic joy are among the four sublime states or the four Brahma Vihara, noble living. So you have altogether four of them: Metta, loving kindness; Kruna, compassion; mudita, joy; and Upekkha, equanimity. Metta is represented by Adosa. So Adosa 33. No hatred is Metta. And Upekkha is represented by neutrality of mind, Tatra Michatata, and number 34. So, Metta, Kruna, Mudita, Upekkha. You have altogether four of them. So actually four of them are called limitless ones. Limitless ones, Brahma Vihara. So every day we develop four Brahma Vihara, Metta, Kruna, Mudita, and Upekkha. So let us develop for Brahma Vihara, Metta chanting, page 82, 83. Page 82, 83. Awira Hondu, Abhyapija Hondu, Aniga Hondu, Sukhi Atana, Pariharantu. May all beings have no enmity and dangers. May all beings have no mental suffering. May all beings have no physical suffering. May they take care of themselves happily. That is, you are developing Metta Bhavana. And then Sabbe Satta Dukkha Mojantu. May all beings be released from suffering. That is, you radiate to these suffering beings to be released from suffering. That is compassion, Kruna Bhavana. And then Sabbe Satta Yatha Ladda Sampatito Mavi Gichantu. May all beings who are prosperous and happy be not deprived of happiness they have obtained. So that is Mudita Bhavana. You radiate to these prosperous and happy beings. May they be not deprived of their happiness they have obtained. That is Mudita Bhavana. And the last one is Kamasaka, that is Upekkha Bhavana. We all beings have karma as our own. So every day when you develop the four Brahmavihara, Metta, Kruna, Mudita, Upekkha. You have to develop sincerely, deeply, and attentively, so that every recitation, every radiation, you can obtain jhana. So let us radiate Metta, Kruna, Mudita, Upekkha. Can you follow me? Page 82, 83. Sabba etiyo Sabbe purisam Sabbe ariyam Sabbe nariyam Sabbe devam Sabbe manosam Sabbe vinipatikam Avera hondu Abhyapacha hondu Aniga hondu Sukhi adanam Pariharandu Dukkha mojandu Yata lada sampadidam Mawigichandu Kamasagam. May all beings have no enmity and dangers. May they have no mental suffering. May they have no physical suffering. May they take care of themselves happily. May all suffering beings be released from suffering. May all beings who are prosperous and happy be not deprived of happiness they have obtained. May all beings have karma as their own. So when you practice Brahmavihara, according to this teaching, you can gain jhana. Jhana, mudita, kruna and mudita are also sublime states, and metta is represented by adosa and upekkha is represented by neutrality of mind. So all the beautiful mental factors. The last one is pinya. We will continue tomorrow. Pinya, we have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing Metta Bhavana, Kruna, Mudita and Upekkha Bhavana, by developing all wholesome mental states, wholesome volitional formation aggregates, by noting, rising, falling, sitting, seeing, hearing, continuously and meticulously, may all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future. So,